And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the dog here, late, or actually Aaron the puppy, Aaron the puppy here, late on this Wednesday with my co-host, as always, just my 2 cents to cover UFC Vegas 89. I guess we're going to go with the Vegas titles. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. UFC Fight Night, UFC Vegas 89, whatever you want to call it. Rose Namajunas versus Amanda Ribas is the main event. There's, I believe, 13 other fights on the card. So very close fights, not any huge favorites throughout the card. So pretty competitive fight card, I think. Obviously, obviously the I don't know, I lost my train of thought, but 2 cents, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? I know this is such a crazy card, kind of hard not to get lost in the sauce, man. But I'm good. Yeah, I've made a couple bets already for this fight, and feeling pretty good about them. And yeah, this is another Vegas card, but it's like the last one we had, it was shitty on paper, but I mean, kind of shitty in real life, but some chances to make some money, I guess. It's a fucking.
I mean, we hit another Zhang Li last week, kind of bearing the lead there. So shout out to Zhang.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for that one. That's the second Zhang Li that you've hit
2 in 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. Crazy.
Yep. The first one was for like plus 7,000. So this one only for like 1,800 or something. But still,
dude, it saved my night. If it weren't for the Zhang Li, I would have lost, but I broke even. So thank you.
Yeah, we were on the right side with quite a few of the fights the last couple of fights nights. So let's keep it going with the high-level UFC Vegas 85 or 89 card here. Starting out with Mick Parkin versus Mohammed Usman. Here's the sad thing about this fight to me. If they told me this was like an Apex co-main event, I would believe them 100%. I would even believe if it was a main event at this point. That's kind of how fight cards have gone. Yet it's opening like this kind of lower level Apex card. But either way, Muhammad Usman and Mick Parkin, I don't think either guy is very good. There's my hot take. I think Muhammad Usman is the more explosive, quicker athlete of the two of these guys. Mick Parkin's going to be the taller, bigger guy, nearly at 265, but I still think Usman's probably the stronger guy. And just I don't know, like Mick Parkin feels like he could kind of put on that pressure volume style that got Muhammad Usman into trouble against Brandon Sales back in the PFL. That was a while ago. We're also post USADA era. And post USADA, Usman's going to look in very good shape for some reason, I think. Originally I thought this was a really like easy smash spot for Mick Parkin. Rewatching the tape and just based on the level of competition, neither guy's faced an amazing level of competition, but Mick Parkin, I do not feel has really proved himself enough to be any sort of a favorite. And I get it, Muhammad Usman, not great, but I think that if I had to go with the side, it'd be the plus money on Usman, and the side I'd ultimately go with is pass. But I'll take Muhammad Usman, possible split decision candidate here.
Yeah, this is such a weird fight, man. And if honestly, what you mentioned about the bout order, you could easily swap this one out with a co-main event, and it's like a lateral move. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going with Parkin. It's a pass, but I just feel like he's got the better hands. Like I feel like he's going to tune Usman up. I'm a little worried about him getting like knocked out, or maybe getting like kind of out wrestled. But outside of that, I feel like he's the better striker. And if they're just standing and trading, I'll take Parkin. But yeah, it's fucking greasy, man. What a greasy opener.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I'm just I'll start going to I'll start moving on here in a minute. But it's like Jamal Pogues in that debut there for Parkin. I mean, I could see this fight looking kind of similar to that in some ways, but I just so with Parkins, movement and volume, but yeah, it's just one that again I'm passing on. Originally, when I looked at this fight, I said Parkin right away, but I've just kind of got a weird feeling Muhammad Usman's going to poke this one out in some way or another. So I'm taking Usman by decision. You got Parkin by decision, I assume.
Yeah, probably decision. Yeah. I was thinking about maybe knockout, but yeah, probably Parkin decision.
Yeah. So I'll pull up the lines here in a minute, but yeah, I mean, it's really not a bad fight. And especially for an opener like this, whoever wins this fight is pretty relevant in the heavyweight division. They're close to top 15. That's how bad the division is, but still, especially if Parkin wins, they're going to ship him forward, I think, pretty quickly. So plus 124 on Usman, currently minus 148 on Parkin, minus 175 on the over 2.5, which, it's kind of dicey in a heavyweight fight, but I do feel like this is going to be a lower volume, kind of lower pace type of heavyweight fight. So
yeah, it feels like Usman or pass.
Yeah, but we'll move on to the next one. I really did think Parkin was an easy spot when I first looked at this, but then sometimes I feel like we'll see if it's a good thing or not, all the tape, because I think it kind of clouded my judgment a little bit on this fight, but we'll see. Next fight, this is a really good fight. Igor Severino or Igor da Silva, whatever they're going to call him on fight night, taking on Andre Lima. Battle of two Brazilian flyweights, young Brazilian flyweights at that. Andre Lima, Mascote, known as a kickboxer. He has got some professional kickboxing experience, Muay Thai fights as well. Really, really solid hands. Can go to the decision as well. Not as well-rounded probably as a younger, still not 21-year-old Igor Severino. Igor Severino, he's been in some kind of wars on the regional scene as well. I'm not going to make a secret about this right away. After the tape, I was very much impressed by Igor Severino. I think that he's got a lot of improvement he's going to go through. I think physically he's going to really still grow into his body. He's got fights that he was weighing in at 122 still, and he looks like he's a big kid, but he's just still young and like literally still physically maturing. Obviously, Andre put a beating to our boy King Zadim on the Contender Series, which I'll let 2 Cents cover here in a minute in further detail. But yeah, Lima looks to be the goods, man. He is developing the rest of his game, but frankly, the stand-up is so strong that if Igor gets into kind of a firefight, I think that Igor could have some success, but I think that would definitely be the biggest mistake. I could see Igor wrestling. It's all about how those first couple of takedowns are defended. If they're not defended, or if they are defended and Igor starts to panic wrestle, I think he's going to gas on and get knocked out. But if not, I think Igor flips the line pretty quickly and could submit Lima, could control him here. 2 undefeated guys. This is probably my favorite fight on the card, but I picked Severino before looking at the line. The line was pretty massive to Lima. I automatically bet Severino. It's gone further towards Lima at this point. Severino plus 154. I think that line's off, but we'll see how the young kid responds to the Apex. This will be Lima's second time in the Apex with the Contender Series fight. I think that could be pretty key as well. Lima's no joke. This is a really high-quality fight, so whoever loses, I don't think their stock necessarily should take a huge hit, but I'm going to Igor Severino.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this was a fun fight to tape. And I do think it's close, man. I think that the Zinedine win for Lima looks good on paper. That was just such a weird fight, so it's kind of tough to tell what you've got. But in a fight where I think it's going to be close, dude, give me the dog. I think he is more well-rounded, and I like that he's aggressive. I like that he's just kind of like young and wild. And because he is the better grappler, he can kind of be like that, dude. He is a classic, like, shoot-to-boxe fighter. And I think that could actually serve him pretty well. Like, I think that if they're just standing there and having a nice, clean kickboxing match, like, Lima's going to tune him up. But I think he's going to force the issue and kind of like kind of crash the space and force these kind of like wild grappling exchanges. And I think he's going to get the better of him and potentially get the choke. But yeah, I like De Silva. I bet Severino or Igor or whatever. I think it was plus 145. And yeah, I like it. Just think it's going to be a close fight. I think could be one of, the better fights and potentially, hopefully a performance of the night for Igor. But I think it could be a war too. Like it's a 20-year-old versus a 25-year-old, and they're both good fighters and looking like, at least to be on paper, legit prospects. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I am too. Low money's coming on Igor now, plus 150. So slight amount of money is starting to go back and forth a little.
Okay, so what did it peak out at for Igor?
So Igor was plus 155 earlier today.
Okay, yeah, it came back down a little.
So and Lima minus 180 now. Yeah, and I mean it's like that Mo Usman McParkin fight just so gross. I wish I didn't have to pick a fighter. I was just looking back at that fight. I think that's such a grease trap. I know that it might end up in the Zhongli though. So that's how bad this card is. That's how competitive I'll spin it this card is. But
nice spin, Dr. Rescue there. I like it.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next fight here. This fight is not making it into the Zhongli parlay.
No.
So Montserrat Rendon, who, be honest, did you think this was Cornejo?
I absolutely thought this was Montserrat Ruiz. Totally thought this was Cornejo. Guilty.
So, I'll admit it too. And taking on Daria Zelenzanyakova out of Ari's Fighting, a long, tall kickboxer from Russia. It's kind of a stand-up, very dynamic stand-up fighter versus a basic boxer with some okay wrestling and okay wrestling control who's never gone to finish, gone to a split decision in her last two with Brittany Cloudy. Yes, that Brittany Cloudy, and then was a plus 250 underdog to Tamiris Vidal and had a competitive fight. I went back and watched that fight. I guess it was fine. She showed she had some defense. Like so many fights on this card. What happened to Daria when her one loss was to Melissa Dixon, who's now like Melissa Turner or something, whatever it is on there. But it's Melissa Dixon out of England, good wrestler with good ground and pound. Well, Daria was tuning her up on the feet, looking really good, then got taken down and got just obliterated on the ground. So a fighter with some killer instinct, I think, could really expose Daria down the line. That's not Montserrat Rendon. Montserrat Rendon makes Kaylin Chookagian look lethal. It's just Daria's going to get the win here, and she's going to, I think, be able to kind of have just a walking punching bag in front of her, because that's kind of what Montserrat Rendon does. It just kind of walks in front of you with pretty basic kickboxing, or not even kickboxing, just boxing. And Daria's a good kickboxer. So Daria should knock her out here some point in the first two rounds. So the line sucks. Obviously, I'm not betting it, but I think Daria gets a finish and gets a showcase on an undefeated Montserrat Rendon.
Yep. Someone's has got to go. The old fucking adage.
Well, except that Daria's already won against Melissa Dixon.
Yeah, give me la 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 la. Give me Daria. Pass.
God, I'm gonna get cute with the Rendon bet here. If you want, go ahead. And I just think this is a clear setup spot for Daria.
Dude, fuck no. This is fucking Daria.
They're not invested in the 35-year-old Mexican with no finishes in her entire career.
Yeah, Daria and pass.
And look at all the geniuses on Tapology who have it figured out for Rendon too. I just think that's very interesting how everybody thinks when Montserrat Rendon's winning this fight, because I don't see it.
I couldn't care less. Don't know, don't care. Hope there's some fucking TNA and
I was expecting the coin, but oh well.
No, I thought about maybe the coin, but No, you and another man's confidence that I've heard this week on this chick. Nah, I'm not testing those waters, and I don't give a fuck enough to even. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna sully the coin with trash like that. But yeah,
It's not even my confidence in Dari. It's my lack of confidence in Montserrat Rendon.
yeah, just the fact that. Well, maybe it's my own stupidity thinking that she was Montserrat Conejo Ruiz, whatever.
We all did. We all thought that.
Yeah, so
we all thought that. That's why I said that. No one's better than that. But next fight here on the card: Jarno Aarons versus Steven Nguyen. This I don't know. Jarno Aarons. You did like tape study for Jarno? Did you look up on YouTube Jarno Aarons?
No.
It's pretty funny because he has like a full like film crew who's been like following his training camps for the last couple fights and this fight.
What?
Like he develops like full like embeddeds on his.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so he's like always in like gis and stuff. I mean, so far I haven't been super impressed with Jarno Aarons, if I'm being honest. He's got that judo background. He's got decent striking. Like nothing's really popped out on me so far. The William Gomis fight was pretty close, I guess. Sungwoo Choi just outclassed him on the feet, and Aarons couldn't really get that judo going. So he's like one of those judo fighters, but I don't really notice the judo working too often. Over his career, he's faced a so-so level of competition over in Europe at times, but for the most part, it's been a pretty low level. I really like to get behind him here. I would, and early in the week, I thought about it, but I just think Steven Nguyen is just so much more the aggressive fighter. I do like he's out of Fortis as well. Fortis does pretty well in the Apex for the most part. I just think he's so much more aggressive on the feet. He's going to be the minute winner. He's more likely to finish. I get it. AJ Cunningham, not the greatest of finishes there, and he's overall faced not a high level of competition. Was winning the fight against Elon Cruz till he wasn't, so it does have that potential. But I don't know. Like Jarno Aarons, there's just been nothing that Steven Nguyen's shown that shows me that Jarno Aarons is going to be able to really get his overall game working that well against him. So I guess I'm going to go Steven Nguyen here, but Aarons could show a wrinkle of his game he hasn't yet. William Gomis is the best level of competition either one of these fighters has faced. So there's that, but I don't know. I'll go with Steven Nguyen. I just think he's going to be the minute winner in this one.
Yeah, I don't have too much else to add. That's pretty much what I got. I got Nguyen. Aarons, he is not a shitty fighter, and that's what pisses me off about him is like he's not terrible. Like his floor isn't bad at all, but his ceiling is so fucking low. It's like unless you're a jobber, it's like he's the kind of guy that can look good against a really shitty fighter. But I don't think Nguyen is a shitty fighter. I think he's pretty decent, and yeah, I just think he's going to be a little better everywhere. Maybe not in the judo. Yeah, maybe not in like the clinch throws and the the strong heavy hips. But I think Nguyen's the better striker and just kind of the better fighter in general. But it's not something I'm super confident about. He's a dude that's almost like minus 200 now. Like, no, thank you. Definitely passing on that. But yeah, I think he'll probably get it done. But this is one that I could see getting greasy. Like if it hits the cards, man, I think this one's gonna be a split. But
yeah, and you're getting this. Yeah, I just minus 180 on the over 2.5 here, minus 185 on Nguyen. So I would just take the minus 180 on the over 2.5 and not have to sweat it quite as much because Aarons is pretty durable as well. And
yeah, for sure.
If Aarons is winning the fight, he's winning it controlling with some grappling probably at times. So Aarons plus 155. Yeah, I don't know. This fight could be good. He could be kind of a snoozer of the night too, depending on who's winning.
Right, like either Nguyen whoops his ass or it's a greasy split is kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next fight. Miles Johns, who got suspended by USADA, and now he's coming back to no USADA in the UFC, and looking shredded, by the way. Taking on Cody Gibson, a guy who's used the R word quite a few times. I think he did retire for a little bit. 36 years old, coming off of a Contender Series loss, competitive loss to Brad Katona. Before that, got a submission of Francisco Rivera, lost to Ray Borg. So lost to kind of a decent level of competition. That was Dan Arguda's decision got thrown out because of steroids, but he still gets the benefit of the steroids. Beat Vince Morales, lost to our boy Sexy Mexi John Castaneda a few years ago. Has some knockouts on the record. I'm trusting the eye test here. I also am trusting overall the level of competition, where they're at in their careers. I think Miles Johns should have a impressive performance, and I think most likely knocks out Cody Gibson in this fight. So I just think there's levels to this. No USADA, huge benefit to Miles Johns as well. I think Miles Johns knocks him out. I think this is one of the values on the card right now at -140.
Yeah, dude, I'm super biased with this one. I am a Miles Johns truther. This dude has made me money before, and I can't help but back him here. I'm always like a little bit nervous because while he has made me money, he's also burned me once or twice. So I'm always a little bit nervous when he fights, but I do think Gibson's kind of a jobber on his last leg. And I'm sorry, man. Tough. That last iteration of Tough with Katona, that's such a farce, man. Katona winning Tough, getting cycled through the UFC, and then coming back through. It's just like, what the fuck is this? So I really can't rate any of that for any fighter that participated in it, let alone a dude that didn't win it. So, yeah, give me Johns, and I like the knockout too. But I'm kind of like taking my bias out of it and not going to bet it because normally I would. But yeah, I think Miles is the side.
No USADA with a guy who failed.
He is fucking shredded, dude.
Right. Like is no USADA
a
good thing or a bad thing for Miles Johns?
Dude, there's striations on his striations.
Right. So I do think, yeah, there's levels. I do think Miles Johns is just a better guy as well. And at -140, we're getting that because that price baked in because of the inconsistency. So you got to jump at it because he gets a finish here. They're putting him against another kind of lower tier 135 in the next fight. Like, I don't know.
He's a dude that just stays in the wash, right? Just like stays on the turnstile of that lower, like
Paiva or something. They'll give him like Paiva next, and it'll be -220 again because he'll have an impressive knockout here.
Yeah, dude, he'll get somebody in the top 50, like someone between like 40.
And he'll be favored more than here. -140, I think. I've got to jump at it. So -140. If they've trapped me against Cody Gibson, congratulations. He's +120. The under 2.5 at +155, I don't think is terrible either. The over 2.5, they're starting to go to decision -200. But yeah, I do like Miles Johns in this fight. So yeah, I'm gonna jump at the spots I like, whether it's a dog or the favorite. And next fight here, Julian Erosa coming back from back-to-back knockouts against Bruce Leroy, and then against our boy Fernando Padilla, who is on this card later on. He's been knocked out 7 times now in his career. He's lost 11 fights. Ricardo Ramos has some nasty knockouts, including of our boy Ayman Zahabi. And he's had several of those spinning knockouts as well. Has good submissions as well, good jiu-jitsu, which keeps the fight from just getting into, I think, a wrestling and grappling spot here for Erosa as well. I think this is a bad matchup for Erosa for the most part. So I do like Ricardo Ramos. It's kind of a question of how he gets it done for me. I think a lot of people are going to go with the KO. I don't know. I could see Erosa kind of getting into a war here, making this one close. Maybe even gets it to a split territory for him, but I'm going to take Ramos by decision. But I get the KO not as well. That's always a play with Erosa, but I'll take Ramos by split. Ramos by split. Sure. Ramos by split.
Dude, this one's so fucking tough. I like Juicy J. Your boy fucks with Juicy J. I've been watching that dude fight for a long time, and I'm like a little bit biased towards him. I think Ramos is probably the side, right? But I don't. Yeah, he's younger. He's fresher.
One.
He's been knocked out a couple times himself, but he ain't been knocked out no 7 times. Yeah, against my better judgment, I'm the coin is for chick fights, for lower level chick fights, so I won't sully the coin with this one as well. Against my better judgment, I will pick Ricardo Ramos. I was thinking about maybe Juicy J, maybe the dog shot on Juicy J, but nah, I think he'll probably. This is why I think he's gonna get not chinned, but he'll get spinning back fisted and dropped, and then Ramos will pounce on him and get the choke. That's my prediction. Club and sub for Ramos.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious the sub number on Ramos right now, because I'm sure the KO is going to be ridiculous. KO is plus 250, sub is plus 400.
I mean, it won't stun me if Julian knocks him out, honestly. Like, if it gets into a war and it gets dirty, like, he's always good for a fucking scrap. And, like, I've seen Ramos kind of, like, turn puss before when the going gets tough. I just don't know if Julian's quite the level. I don't know, man. I'll be rooting for Juicy J, but Ramos probably does something nasty to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it out of there for mine. But yeah, it could be a pretty volatile fight. I agree. It's at 145 there. The next fight, the battle of the over 30-year-old. I thought Ogden was over 35, to be honest, but still only 34 is the Samurai Ghost Trey Ogden taking on Kurt Holobaugh, who is now 37 and a half years old. 20-7. He is coming off of that Ultimate Fighter win. Got the triangle choke against Austin Thud Hubbard. Has a few knockouts via KO. Dude's a brawler. Had a rough go of it in the UFC between Burgos and Moises, and then he's made his way back now. Trey Ogden put on a really good performance against Nicholas Moda, who just came back and got a big win his last time out as well. So good bounce back performance there after the Bahamondes lack of a performance. Also against Huber, he froze him up there. I think this is going to be a really weird fight, but I like Kurt Holobaugh quite a bit in this spot. I think these two veterans most likely go the distance. Holobaugh lands the more powerful, I think, damaging strikes in this fight, and I think he lands the more impressionable strikes as well. Solid enough in the grappling that I think the grappling is going to cancel out for both these guys, and I just slightly edge Holobaugh. I also think that Kurt has the edge in terms of finishing capability in this fight, so if a finish does happen, I think it would be a Kurt by a KO as opposed to Ogden by a submission. So give me Kurt. I think I don't think he should be the underdog here, to put it lightly, and yeah, give me the dog. And what up, Furio? Yeah, man, we're doing good. Hitting Jong Lee's back and forth, I should say. Not back to back, but 2 of the last 3. And yeah, doing good, man. Had a perfect card a couple of fights ago. But 2 cents, what's your thoughts on the battle of these 2 veteran grapplers who are going to strike?
Dude, what the fuck is this fight?
Terrible.
You would swear that like Trey Ogden is some like spring chicken prospect, the way people talk about him, like the 34-year-old prospect Trey Ogden versus 37-year-old jobber second run Kurt Holobaugh. Like, dude, this is another one where like I'm tempted to flip the coin, but it's like it's not for that. It's for low-level chick fights. Like, but this is pretty close
to a low-level chick fight.
It is, dude. Like, I'm going to go the other way, man. I'm going to say Ogden, like, rats him and makes it a split. I would never bet this, and I'm feel gross that I have to pick it. But, yeah, give me fucking Trey Ogden. He'll probably, like, rob Holobaugh Honestly, it'll be a split where everyone's like, dude, Kurt got fucked. Like, I hope, like, especially if you're betting Kurt, I hope it doesn't go that way. Especially if he's in the fucking John Lee. But yeah, man, give me fucking Trey Ogden in just could be the snoozer of the night, man. This could be a really fucking bad fight. I don't know.
Dude, yeah, I'm sorry. This fight is not in the Zhang Li though. I might get there on betting Kurt as a dog because I do agree that I think that Kurt should be the slight favorite here.
I don't hate it. Yeah, it's Hallbauer pass. Goddamn pass for me though.
Yeah, and he's not, but I'm avoiding it right now. Plus 130 on Kurt though. Little money's coming on Trey Ogden. I'm not sure why. I guess the stock from not beating but beating Mata, people. I don't know. All right, next fight of the night. I don't really have to make it a secret here. This is a Fernando Padilla channel still, and always will be as far as I'm concerned. So I'm not going to be the most unbiased picker of Fernando Padilla fights. But with this fight, I do feel it's pretty teed up for Fernando to look good. I think on the feet, he's got a 7 or 8 inch reach advantage for one, and he does know how to use it. Also, if Luis is able to kind of crash the distance and get inside, Fernando has nasty knees, nasty elbows, good submission game as well, and way better cardio. I think all the way around, this is a mismatch and good bounce back spot for Fernando against a guy with a decent amount of stock coming off the Contender Series where he knocked out Robbie Ring, who had his mom and dad and sister in his corner, and was from like Ashburn, Virginia. And yeah, it's his Padilla season. Luis just isn't very good. I agree. And I do know that Padilla has immediately gone back in and gone to work. So I like Padilla by sub myself. But what's your thoughts, 2 cents?
Yeah, dude, this feels like a Padilla alley-oop smash spot. I made a greasy little 2-piece parlay, a finishing prop parlay. Yeah, that never goes wrong. That'll never go sideways. But yeah, I think Padilla smokes this dude. He's a nobody that's fought nobodies, and yeah, I think yes, like the Nelson loss was not a great look, but Nelson has fought such a higher level of combat. Like the experience,
and nothing that Pajulo's gonna do is anything like that.
The way that dude fights is going to get him smoked. Like he's an aggressive.
He just has the cardio to do it.
He's just gonna walk forward, and it's just gonna be like T-ball, dude. Fernando's gonna knock him out of the fucking ballpark. So yeah, Padilla at the distance was plus 150, and I had to throw that in this greasy fucking thing.
No, I don't hate it at all. The minus 166, a little money's coming in on Luis. It's just a short-term memory of MMA fans.
Dude, seriously, that feels like a gift line, man. Like it's just a no-brainer. Like Fernando's gonna fuck this dude up.
Again, I did a Fernando and Miles Johns parlay, and I hammered it for 5 units. So
I don't hate it at all, man.
Yeah, I trusting my eyes there. 2 mismatches, in my opinion, and 2 spots where both guys are, should be minus 200 or more.
I imagine he'll be miffed about that last result and probably look to put a stamp on this one as well.
Yeah, it's been 3 months too. He's had plenty of time to recover. Fernando all day there. I love that spot. Next fight. There's like 3-4 fights on this card that I just want to throw my hands up and just like kind of do the I don't know emoji basically, because this is another one here. For me, I'm going to keep it pretty layman with this one. Yusuf Zalal has fought, I believe I used the term grocery bags since leaving the UFC. Josh Childers, I'm sorry. He's not good at all. The other 2 guys, I'm sorry. They're not.
You don't even mention them, man. They're close.
Jake Childers, Vadim Zapadalabo. Good job, 0-0, and Edwin Chavez. It's just not a level that I'm.
People throw the term can around a lot. That's a boxing term. Like those actually are cans, man. Like right. I'm not trying to be just, but those are actual. Like they're that term is around for a reason, and those are those kind of fighters where it's like you just need a check. You need a little bit of money, and you throw them in there against anybody, and it's just to stack shit up like that.
Right. So, my thing with Yusuf Zalal is he he slows down. That's his issue. And everybody just keeps talking about his fight against Ilya Topuria. I get it. Where Topuria, he outstruck him 17-13, and Topuria had to take him down, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't really care about that fight. It's the slowing down against Sung Woo Choi. It's the slowing down against Sean Woodson. The slowing down against Damon Blackshear. Over and over again, his cardio has shown us what it is. Then he gets an opportunity to face off against guys he's putting away in the first round. Over and over again. He's going over and doing boxing, kickboxing, and an MMA fight all in one night. And now he's taking a fight on short notice to get back into the UFC. I get it. He's 8 years younger than Billy Q, but Billy Q has the better cardio, better volume, better overall game, in my opinion. So I think if Yusuf Zalal doesn't put him away early, which could very well happen, I think Billy Q drowns him the way he does most people after losing the first round. So I'm live betting Billy Q after he loses the first round to Yusuf Zalal, and Yusuf Zalal doesn't put him away. I don't think it's a 10-8 draw type of place. I just think it's Billy Q by decision. I think it's a bad matchup for Yusuf on short notice here.
Yeah, I really don't like the short notice. It on paper, yeah, it's a tough one to call. Actually parlayed Billy on Tuesday, did the Locker Room Talk podcast on Tuesday. Shout out to those boys. But yeah, man, I think Billy Q gets it done. The more I think about it, yeah, I'm not buying that all of a sudden Zalal is some like knockout artist. Like he was a pillow-fisted decisionator before, and I guarantee you that he took these like boxing and kickboxing smokers to like gain confidence in his striking. But like Billy Q has pro boxing experience himself, and like if he thinks he's a fucking big tough guy, Billy Q, he'll fucking mash your head in for you. Like he is not like the best fighter in the world, but he's a decent boxer, and I know that he's got that cardio. So I was a little bit like having a little bit of buyer's remorse parlaying Billy Q, but I think that he gets it done, man. Like they're both probably on the sauce, and Billy Q's never had a problem with cardio. And yeah, I'm not buying that Zalal is all of a sudden just going to be some fucking new and improved dude. He could be. I mean, we're about to see, but yeah. Give me William Q to get the fucking job done.
Yeah, William Q now down to -120. So I just feel like Yusuf Zalal is one of those MMA gambling like bets of the week, dogs of the week. So go ahead if you want to take him, but I'm going on the side of Billy, and I'm taking with a total of 0 bets so far on him. So all the best to you. The over 2.5. Have you seen what the over 2.5's at?
No, but what?
-280.
Damn. Yeah,
this fight clock to go over 2.5. I don't know how you're siding with Zalal in this spot.
Well, I mean, Zalal's a point fighter, right? So it's like if they're going to be sitting there point fighting, I think I'm still saying Billy Q hits a little bit harder. So like I still think he can win moments. You know what I mean? And like in that third round, I'm pretty sure Billy Q's going to win the third round if he's still there. So
yeah, we'll see. It's definitely one of those I don't know spots. It's not making the Zhongli.
Could be a greasy fucking split, but yeah, I think he lands the more meaningful shit.
Yep. We're on to fight number 11 of 14 on the card. This is a fight that I'm glad we're getting it, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, if I'm being honest. Peyton Talbot taking on Cameron Simon, or Seaman, whatever you want to call him. But to me, I mean, Cameron, he's 8-1. He's 23 years old. He's still really young. Like he's coming off that loss to Christian Rodriguez, where Rodriguez exposed him a little bit. But like now he's having to go against another young up and coming prospect with, pretty solid striking and also a good, amount of grappling that he's starting to show in Peyton Talbot. Peyton Talbot, also 5'10", the longer, kind of more dynamic of the two guys here. To me, pre-fight, I looked at this and I thought this is a Peyton Talbot smash spot, and I took him at Pick'em and bet him 2 units right away. I thought that -110 both ways. I didn't understand it. I think Simon's been exposed a little bit already, even before the loss, I should say. Some of those wins not convincing at all. Making some, kind of costly mistakes that I think more talented fighters. And now he's going against another young kid, so you don't know for sure. But I do think, that Peyton Talbot has the goods, man. I think he's got the striking. I think he's got the grappling. I think he's, I think he can put it all together. He's gone the distance as well. I just think he's better than Cameron Simon here. I think he puts on a show. I think he's the first one to finish Cameron Simon here. So I think Peyton Talbot could get the knockout. Wouldn't surprise me if it goes to decision either, though. But I like Peyton Talbot quite a bit here. So maybe Peyton Talbot gets exposed, but I think Peyton Talbot's more likely to lose to more of a veteran than a guy who he's actually older than. Doesn't have the experience, but again, the experience edge, I think, only goes so far here when the guys that he's fighting are Mana Martinez to a majority draw or decision and Terrence Mitchell. So it's not really valuable experience either. I haven't seen anything on Cameron Simon that tells me he could beat a guy like Peyton Talbot.
I'm picking Peyton Talbot. Let me say that first. I'm picking Peyton Talbot, but to me, this feels like a Simon or pass from a betting standpoint. I feel like Seaman could potentially be his C-Rod, if you will. I think that Talbot is the one taking a little bit of a step up here, and I don't think that Simon is some like crazy, like unbeatable fighter. Like I think it's a winnable fight for Talbot, but I think it's just going to a split. Like if he finishes him, I can see that. Like if he overwhelms him and Simon gets tired and like he's a lanky dude. Like if he's on top of him and constantly going from like mount to like Simon giving up his back and like back and forth to shit like that. If it's shit like that, I think he probably does finish him. But I don't know, man. I think Talbot's the kind of dude I've seen him kind of like fuck around and like just kind of like be a little arrogant and careless. And I just think that Simon is a little bit better than some of the dudes that he's been fighting and really been able to style on. So I think this is going to be closer than some people do. I think it's actually going to be a greasy split. And I think Cameron Simon gets robbed here. I think he actually tunes up Talbot a little bit, but Talbot gets the better of the grappling and like he has some big moments too. I think this is a greasy split, but give me Talbot. I think they're pushing him a little bit harder. They like the crazy hair and the
whisper like O'Malley.
They like the cocky fucking autistic fucking Asperger's weirdo kid shit, and that's totally Peyton Talbot. So yeah, give me Talbot by weirdo split.
Well said. Yeah, I just am very surprised when I see it. Oh, by the way, yeah, Billy Quintero is minus 120 now, plus 100 for Yusuf Zalal, and minus 148 on Peyton Talbot now. I got him at minus 110, plus 124 on Cameron Simon. So I still like Peyton Talbot for the Zhang Li, as you can tell. I'm a little more confident on him than 2 cents, but we shall see. Back to the I don't know section of the card because we have Edmund Zahavian taking on AJ Dobson. And if you want somebody to claim they know what they're talking about with this fight, congratulations, it's not going to be me. It's just Edmund, has a lot of promise, especially early in fights. I have a little bit of a question about the quitting him as the going gets tough. Obviously, it's against very good guys, but the Brunson ground and pound, Hermanson teaching him a lesson by dominating in that decision. Then I was at the Imavov fight when the crucifix happened. It's only win coming against Dolce Lambangulia. So he does kind of expose a certain level of fighter, which I do think Dobson could be argued to fall into. Dobson, not a spring chicken, also at 32 years old, having bad knees. His striking is okay. His wrestling is okay. He's not exceptional everywhere. Ideally, it's somebody who, you should be able to have Edmund put on a good performance against. Yeah, I don't know here. It's tough for me to really get too confident on either side. Give me Edmund Zahavian and give me no bets on him. I think Zahavian could be the first to finish Dobson.
Yeah, this is exactly like the last fight where we're on the same side, but I am way more confident, dude. I think this is much closer to like a Padilla spot where like this is a mismatch to me. Like I get people not wanting to like get crazy confident in Shabazian because you look at his record and he's lost like 3 of his last 4, but they're all to rank fighters. And even Brunson, like even old man Brunson just beat fucking Ray Cooper, who's another old dude, but still like Edmund's 26. He like this level of competition, he finishes and he styles on. And I think this is just feels like a Shabazian bounce back spot. I don't know what the line is now, but I parlayed him. I made he was part of my locker room talk podcast parlay. He's like my leg or whatever, but yeah, I like it. And he is the second leg of that greasy two piece with Fernando inside the distance. I think Edmund knocks this dude out. I mean, I know that he hasn't been knocked out before, but yeah, like other than Petrosian, like Petrosian tuned him up, but he's like Armin, like I think like Edmund is a better boxer than Armin is. Like I think Armin's the better kickboxer, but I think I think Shabazian, I think his hands are a little crisper, and I think he hits with his hands a little bit harder. And I think I think he's going to tune AJ Dobson up and knock him out. So yeah, I think I got Edmund by knockout like plus 130. And that with the Fernando inside the distance. But yeah, I think this is a bounce back like setup spot. They're not like this is a short notice spot for Dobson too. Like he's replacing Dushko. I think he was supposed to fight Todorovic and got injured or something. Wow, big fucking. We're real shocked. Yeah, like that's a big shocker to all of us that Dushko got hurt. But yeah, give me Golden Boy by knockout here.
Fair enough. Yeah, I'm not going to be jumping on the AJ Dobson defense here. But, yeah, I mean, it's an okay fight. I guess it should clearly a bounce back. All right, co-main event. Carl Williams was supposed to face Junior Tafa. Junior Tafa stepped in for Justin Tafa. Justin Tafa steps in for Junior Tafa to face Carl Williams now. Yeah. I mean, Carl Williams was 1 for 10 on takedowns in his UFC debut against Chase Sherman. That's not great. Still won the fight. Showed a little bit of more striking than I think maybe people realize with him. So there's that. It is Chase Sherman. This is a significant step up here against Justin Tafa, in my opinion. And Justin Tafa with his 100% takedown defense, albeit look at who it's against, nobody who's tested it yet. Carl Williams, we'll know after the first takedown entry how this fight's going to go, I think. Because I think if Carl Williams gets him down, he's probably going to be able to continue to get him down throughout the fight. But Justin Tafa just needs one shot. One shot is all it takes throughout the fight to end it. So definitely going to be nervous here. But I do think Carl Williams, I don't like that Justin Tafa has been injured recently. Don't know how much training he's been able to get in. And I think the cardio is going to be tested against a guy like Carl Williams. Carl knows he has to avoid, just the big shot, really, and that's it. I think that Justin Tafa has been exposed multiple times when he's gotten pushed too hard, got knocked out so hard against Yorgan De Castro, so the knockout's always alive. And I'm sure with Carl Williams, you can get a nice price on the KO shot. He's minus 185 for one, which I just think is crazy. They are wise a little bit. They covered the KO here with the plus 250. So I was thinking about a KO shot, but looks like I'm just leaving this fight alone now. But I will take Carl Williams in this spot, and I think he gets it done. Honestly, I think he gets it done with that knockout by probably ground and pound later in the fight. I think this guy is going to exhaust Tafa. Tafa will roll to his belly, and he'll just kind of mount up and do those little punches where they're like, fight back. And he's not going to. Once he hears that, he's going to really just lay there. And then Carl Williams wins by a pitter-patter TKO.
Yeah, this fight's so fucking greasy, dude. A smart man probably just passes here, but
I don't think it's that greasy. I mean, it's low-level heavyweights, but I just think Justin Tafa is bad against anybody who fights MMA.
I mean, yeah, probably you're right. But I don't know, man. Carl Williams is going to end up getting starched. I don't think that he is anything special. I think that, yeah, it probably looks something like the Vandera fight. That's the thing is people are yeah, Tafa, he's got a couple crazy knockouts, but he's not a very good fighter. He's got a puncher's chance. He always has a puncher's chance, but that's it, man. It's it's fucking bonk or bust. And I just don't know, man. If you're losing to guys like Felipe and Vandera, you can lose to a dude like Williams too. I think
especially the way Vandera won the fight.
Yeah, it's like I think he's a little bit better than Austin Lane and Porter. Like I think he's a little bit more athletic than Porter, and I think he's a better fighter than Austin Lane. And yeah, he
He's definitely better
does.
than Sherman.
There'll probably be some hairy moments, but he probably, there's some sloppy striking, and then he gets the takedowns, and yeah. But hey, dude, he does have a 5-inch reach advantage, and like he can like put a decent boxing combination together, I guess, like on the feet. So it wouldn't totally stun me if he fucking chin Tafa, who is not like the most durable dude. So yeah, give me Williams, but that could get sweaty.
Could get quite sweaty, and Carl Williams down to a minus 185. So the money is pouring in on Justin Tafa. So
this is an insane co-main event. Like this is
they could switch the co-main event in the prelim. That first prelim, they really could.
Totally.
Yeah. So I like Carl there a little bit more than you, but honestly, I'll tell you right now. I know that I sent you the Zhongli the other day. The Zhongli is changing as we're going through this card and talking through. So the new Zhongli will be over 3,000 clip, though. So
Lord have fucking mercy.
Yeah, I have made some changes. I've decided to remove Carl Williams from I've decided to remove Carl from the Zhongli parlay, though. So I'm sorry, Carl and Mick Parkin. You guys are out of the Zhongli parlay. I decided I didn't want to work with the heavyweights tonight. Moving on to the main event, and then we'll go through the Zhongli and take off for the night. But appreciate all the people in the building here. Thank you for the support. And it's been a fun card to talk through. It's been very helpful. Cards like this that are so competitive, I think, are the most helpful ones. Amanda Ribas, Rose Namajunas in the main event here. This main event's grown on me a lot, honestly. I do think it's a good main event the more and more I've thought about it, because I'm a pretty big Amanda Ribas fan. I get it. She's had some bad moments with regards to her chin, the Marina Rodriguez fight, the Macy Barber fight, the ground and pound finish there was really, really bad. And she is 1-2 at this weight class. She lost to Caitlin Chukagian as well, got a little exposed with regards to being on the feet. I think with Amanda Ribas here, she has to be very, very focused on not making this a kickboxing bout. I think if she makes this a kickboxing bout, she's way too hittable. The defense is going to be severely compromised against Rose. As long as Rose mentally shows up, I think she can kind of piece her up on the feet, and her stand-up is second, maybe third best in the division still, even this division. She came off that fight with Manon Ferro. I thought she won, the fight, frankly. And she looked pretty good. I still don't like her at 125. I think there is an aspect of kind of discipline that isn't there that needs to be there for Rose, that for her to be at her best. Also, it's hard for me to get out of my head the grappling bout she had against Jillian Robertson, where Jillian strangled her so quickly. Really did kind of quite make me question some holes in the submission game of Rose here. 5 rounds, I do think, Rose typically shows up in shape, but again, 125 is a bit of a concern for me still. I don't like that she's still having talks about going to multiple weight classes as well. But Amanda Ribas also has kind of tripped going up to that next step of competition several times now. So it's hard to really trust in either one of these ladies. I'm going to get behind Amanda Ribas in this spot, though. I think she does manage to get the grappling involved here, take it into a little deeper waters as it goes, and possibly get a submission. So Amanda Ribas by submission is going to be my choice for the main event.
I'm on the other side, but I'm not very confident. I'm Scroats my goats passing. Yeah, it's an experience advantage thing, and it's definitely a striking advantage thing. Like that's how Hebus loses fights. She gets tuned up and knocked out. I think there's a chance she could get knocked out here. And yeah, I don't know, man. Rose, I really don't like that she doesn't have Trevor Whitman in her corner for this fight. That's a big reason why I'm happy that I didn't bet it. I'm not going to say it's the reason why I'm didn't like, you know, I was not going to bet.
Very big deal not to have him there. Who's going to be?
I was going to pass before that.
Who will be in her corner?
I have no idea.
Barry.
Yeah, if it's Barry, like, so that's like, I was going to pass before that, but hearing that she didn't have Whitman, I felt even better about passing. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, give me Rose. I think she is the better fighter overall. Hebus has lost to got knocked out by, not much worse fighters, but I think Rose has the advantage. It feels like a Namajunas spot, but she's such a weirdo fighter, and can sometimes have like mental lapses, or if
yes.
things aren't just so in camp or leading up to a fight, or if she
might just leave her gloves in the middle of the octagon after the fight.
You know what I mean? Like she had a bad day or something. It's like I don't want to put my money on that. So yeah, just pass. But I'll pick Namajunas. It wouldn't surprise me if Hebus subbed her though. I think Hebus does have pretty much the advantage on the ground that Rose has on the feet. But yeah, give me the buzzed one, the buzz cut.
Yeah, and you said it right. I do feel the advantage on the ground is similar to the one on the feet for Rose. So whoever wins probably looks pretty good in doing so. But the line has just continued to go towards Rose here. And I just don't agree. Minus 220 for Rose now, plus 170 on Amanda Hebus.
It feels like Rose is a lot older too. Like they're the same age pretty much. But it just feels, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Well, Hebus just went from plus 170 to plus 180 as I was talking. So yeah, tell me another show where you can talk the line the other way as it goes. So fine, plus 180. I'll take it all day. So yeah, that is the end of the card. We're gonna do the Zhongli really quick, and just kind of final thoughts here. But yeah, great breakdown. Thank you for kind of going late with me tonight. 2 cents
in
the chat. Got double digits, and I always appreciate that. 2 of the last 3 weeks we've hit a Zhongli. We got a plus 1,600 last week. We got the plus 7,000 2 weeks ago with Ayman Zahabi, anchoring that one, we should say. Now we're on to a super greasy, super close card. We have our dog in Igor Da Silva or Igor Severino. Both of us are on him. I've been on him all week, and I don't think that anybody should be that favored in that fight, but I do think Severino has a ton of potential, so I'm going with him at plus 150. Got Miles Johns at minus 140, post USADA, better level, still has a higher level of potential than Cody Gibson at 37 years old. Next, Fernando Padilla, straight up mismatch in terms of size, skill, and just overall ability here at minus 160 for Fernando Padilla. So Fernando bounced back. I'm trusting Payton Talbot here, but I do recognize Furio saying, Simon's definitely the best striker and grappler Payton's ever faced. So that's a good point. I'm not sure how many better guys Cameron Simon has faced either. I know Christian Rodriguez, but besides him, Payton Talbot's kind of a different beast as well. So I'm trusting minus 145. And then the final leg, we're trying to hit back-to-back underdogs in the main event. I know you don't like betting main events, 2 cents, but I'm forcing you to with the Zhongli and the newly plus 180 Amanda Hebus. So I'm throwing 20 on that right now. Pays out, a little over $600 at plus 3,100 right now. So hit it before Hebus goes back down to plus 170. But what's your thoughts on the Zhongli 2 cents? And
God bless America. Well,
about the older Zhongli as well. I know we have a 1.0, 2.0 now. So
Yeah, it's all good. Dude, God bless America. That's all I gotta say. That's yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tail it regardless. I mean, whether I'm on every single leg or not, it's the John Lee has been good to me this year, dude, and I would never not tail it. So let's fucking go. Giddy up, ride 'em cowboy. Let's
hey, fine thought.
yeah, man. Let's have another fucking great week. I'll just say thank you as always for having me, and peace to the chat. Make sure y'all smash the like button for Aaron and subscribe to his channel if you have not. I will be doing my pregame on my channel Saturday. I'll drop the link for anybody in the dome if you or anybody else that's in there wants to come through, and of course anybody that wants to come through in the chat. And
Yeah, it's a late card on Saturday. It starts at 7.
yeah. So I'll probably go live around 5 or something. Get stupid
Yep.
before the fights if anybody wants to come through and shoot the shit. But yeah, man. Thanks again, and best of luck to you and everyone else. And yeah, let's fucking go Vegas 89. What a killer card.
It's competitive if nothing else. So interesting fights. Not sure how a lot of them are going to go, but we'll see you next week for another card. We're in the middle of 11 straight, so we'll be back. I believe that's Atlantic City next week. So we got Manon Farrow taking on Aaron Blanchfield right now. Blanchfield minus 140 favorite. I expect her to get some money as the week goes. So maybe you want to tie Blanchfield to some spots going into next week. I don't know, but peace out. We'll talk to you next week.